that is how inflation rises. They want to keep us down.
You know, the average American family, since it's been the Harris administration in the White House the last 4 years, is making $33,000 less than they did previous to that. In fact, their energy costs have gone up by average of $4,900 per family just in the increase in energy costs. Gas is $1 more a gallon than it was 4 years ago. And when President Trump came into the White House, it went down, if you remember, because what did he do? He wanted an American energy supply. Just if we had it here, we were going to use our own resources, and we weren't going to rely on our enemies like the Harris administration has done. So I clearly see that when it comes to our policies, we can either put somebody in the White House who loves America, believes we should provide for ourselves, and rely on ourselves for our future, for our energy and our food supply, and that is exactly the opposite of what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have done the last 4 years.
And if you hear Donald Trump say, drill, baby, drill, you've heard that? There is a reason for that, because everything that moves in this country moves with energy, and everything you buy or consume has been moved. The idea that we have to do price fixing, that we have to go after corporations, is completely crazy. They've created the policies that have hurt us, and they want you to believe that it's some big bad corporation. They aren't for capitalism. They aren't for innovation. They have crushed innovation in this country in the last 4 years. The fact that we were not only energy independent, but we were headed toward energy dominance. There was a point when our gas companies were saying, man, we can't even make a profit. We've got so much extra energy here, because the United States of America is rich with energy. And that means that you have the most security in the world. But they want to take that away from us. And what does that do? It comes out of everybody's pocket in this room.
Well, you remember the Keystone XL Pipeline, right? That was supposed to go through South Dakota. So what most people don't remember is that when President Trump was in the White House, and then when Joe Biden was being sworn in, he canceled that on day one. But in our state, we already had all the equipment set up. The pipe was laid out across the state. Everything was there and prepared. All we had to do was put it in the ground and hook it up and get it going. In fact, most people don't realize it wasn't going to be the first pipeline that came from Canada and hauled resources down to the refinery to supply our country with energy. It was the third one. We already had 2 pipelines in the ground that went from the exact same points and delivered our oil. This one was going to be more technology advanced. It was going to be safer. It was going to be the security of having a pipeline that would carry more capacity. It's not like we didn't have pipelines in the ground already. This would have been the third one. We've already done it. It was nothing new, but they shut it down because they didn't want to rely on our own supply and our friends for energy. Instead, what are we doing now? We're enriching Iran, right? And our enemies, who are partnering with Russia, who are now supplying China with their energy supply, correct? We literally have countries that hate us partnering in new ways, and they're doing it to defeat the United States of America because they see an opportunity, because this Harris administration has been so weak. They've been so weak, and they've emboldened and enriched our enemies to such a point that they see an opportunity to finally cripple the United States of America, and that has long-term been their goal. This administration, the Harris administration, went back into the Iran nuclear deal immediately. They lifted the sanctions off of Iran. They've been able to keep billions of dollars, and they've used it to fund Hamas and terrorist activities around the world who just attack Americans and our way of life. That weakness on the world stage has huge consequences for us.
Well, look at the consequences it has had in this state. The way that has torn this state apart, because the Biden administration, the Harris administration, made the decision to take sanctions away from Iran. I think the total is close to $100 billion that Iran was enriched in the time that they have been in office. And do you know where that money went? October 7th. And that tore this state apart. And now we have people that are saying, what side are you on? What side are you on? We love people no matter what, and we were on the side of peace, and October 6th was fine. October 7th was funded by a terrorist country that was helped along by the Harris administration, and it has torn the lives of American citizens and Israelis and Palestinians apart because of the irresponsibility of the Harris administration.